各位记者
Good morning, friends from the press. Welcome to this afternoon's regular press conference of the MFA. The floor is open now.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问。据报道，中国近日向加
CCTV is reported that China recently provided humanitarian supplies to Gaza again. Can you share more information? What's your view on the second phase of negotiations on Gaza? As Foreign Minister Wang Yi stressed at the UN headquarters in New York, the Gaza conflict should not be marginalized and demands international attention. China believes that the present priority is to encourage continued and effective implementation of the ceasefire agreement and constructive attitude toward the following negotiations by parties involved. It's important to uphold the principle of the Palestinians governing Palestine in the post-conflict governance of Gaza and let Palestinian people rebuild their homes on their own territory. In the long run, the ultimate solution to the Palestinian question lies in returning to the right track of the two-state solution and realize the peaceful coexistence and common development of Palestine and Israel. The severe humanitarian situation in Gaza also needs greater attention and support from the world. Recently, the Chinese government has provided Gaza with humanitarian emergency aid consisting of 60,000 food parcels, which will be transported from Jordan. The initial shipment, which includes about 12,000 food parcels, was sent out. As a responsible major country, China will continue to work with the world to make relentless efforts for the de-escalation of the crisis in Gaza and the lasting peace and security in the Middle East. Next one, please. Kyoto News. It's reported that Vice Premier He Lifeng met with Japanese business delegation. On the nuclear treated water issue, he used discharged nuclear water instead of nuclear contaminated water long used by MOFA. Does it allude to a change in China's position on this issue?
关于何立峰副总理会
On the meeting between Vice Premier He Lifeng and the Japanese economic delegation, we have released the relevant readout. I refer you to that. On the discharge of nuclear contaminated water of the Japanese bears on the international common interests. China has not changed in its position in opposing discharging the nuclear contaminated water by the Japanese side. We call for a new round of international supervision on the discharge of nuclear contaminated water on a long-term and international and serious rigorous basis. And we also call for a sustained effort in this regard to maintain the marine ecology and the health of humankind. We also urged the Japanese side to earnestly abide by its promise, make sure stakeholders, with China included, to continue to conduct independent sample testing and make sure the discharge is rigorously supervised by the international community. Next one.
法新社，越南议会今天通过计划，将会从其最大的港口到中国边界修建一条大约800亿美元的铁路，使得贸易更为畅通。中方对此有何评论
？You mean the railway cooperation between China and Vietnam?
你指的是中越之间的铁路合作吗？今天越南的议会通过计划，将会通过一个其最大的北方港口到中方的边界修建一个80亿美元的港口项目。你对此有何评论？
去年以来，中越双方多次
Since last year, China and Vietnam have made multiple rounds of exchanges views on interconnectivity of the railways between the two countries and agreed to accelerate the planning for the standard gauge railway in relevant cities in Vietnam and accelerate the alignment of China's railway with the standard gauge railways in Vietnam. And I refer you to competent authorities for specifics.
A question from Reuters.
路透社。南沙群岛的百礁，中国一直声称是其领土，但是自20世纪80年代以来一直被越南占领。根据中国自然资源部的一项研究表明，该部门在2月13日在《热带海洋学杂志》上发表了一项研究，表明越南通过填海造陆将百礁扩大了10倍，自2022年以来就是如此。同时，越南还疏浚了一条299米宽的航道，地点在百礁的西端，其宽度足以让军舰等大型船只停泊。中国控制百礁的可能性是否越来越小呢？
南沙群岛
Nan Sha Qundao has always been part of China's territory. Baijiao is part of Nan Sha Qundao. China opposes relevant countries' construction activities on islands and reefs they have illegally occupied.
下一个问题。
Next one.
谢谢深圳卫视直新闻。据报道，马来西亚总理安瓦尔近日
Shenzhen TV is reported that Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar said recently that China has been ASEAN's most significant economic partner, and this relationship will continue to be a cornerstone of regional stability. Malaysia will promote greater cooperation between ASEAN and China, and he said that to handle and solve the South China Sea issues, the Code of Conduct negotiations should be concluded sooner rather than later. What's your comment? Under the strategic guidance of leaders of China and ASEAN countries, the philosophy of building a China-ASEAN community with a shared future is well received, and greater progress has been made in building a peaceful, safe and secure, prosperous, beautiful, amicable and harmonious Asian home. China and ASEAN have been each other's largest trading partners for years running. Our negotiations with ASEAN to upgrade to Free Trade Area 3.0 have been substantially concluded. The visa-free arrangement between China and other countries, including Malaysia, has produced remarkable results, and the Lanchang-Mekong visa policy kicked in. China and Malaysia have been key players in upholding peace in the region. China supports Malaysia in assuming the rotating presidency of ASEAN. We stand ready to work with Malaysia to create more highlights in our cooperation in trade, digital transformation, industrial and supply chains, green development and people-to-people cultural exchange. Strive for coordinated advances in high-quality Belt and Road cooperation, 3 global initiatives and ASEAN community building, and help regional cooperation produce more outcomes. What China takes away from growing its relations with ASEAN is to properly handle and solve differences through the ASEAN way of friendly consultation. China stays committed to resolving the relevant disputes through negotiation and consultation with the states directly concerned. We stand ready to work with ASEAN countries to fully and effectively implement the Declaration of the Conduct of Parties in the South China Sea, actively advance the consultations of the COC, strive to conclude the COC at an early date, and jointly keep the South China Sea peaceful and stable. Next one, please.
Bloomberg News.
彭博社，美总统特朗普的长子小特朗普称，他写了一篇评论文章，时间是在昨天。他表示，国防部的国防支出应该增加。其父特朗普表示说，应该聚焦于中国，但同时，美中之间的平衡使得美国能够受益颇多。双方对于 特朗普长子小特朗普关于军方应该焦距中国以及在太平洋地区与中美制衡这2个问题方面有何评论？
中方的
On the China-U.S. relations, China's position is consistent and clear. We stand ready to work with the U.S. to address each other's concerns through dialogue and consultation. Under the principle of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. In the meantime, we will firmly safeguard our sovereignty, security, and development interests. We hope the U.S. will work with China in the same direction, jointly implement the important common understandings between the two presidents, and promote the steady, sound, and sustainable development of bilateral relations. Next one.
The FT reported earlier.
金融时报今天表示，有3架军舰在澳大利亚东部驶离到了150海里的地区，进入了专属经济区。去年，中方其他国家的军舰进入了台湾海峡的专属经济区，台湾方面称危害到了主权。那你认为中方军舰驶离到了澳大利亚附近，是否危害到了澳大利亚的主权？
I am not aware of the situation that you described, and I refer you to relevant authorities of the Chinese side. Next one. Is there any other question? Okay, this is the end of today's press conference. Thank you.